Hello, I'm Desiree Drescher, Director of Product Management on the Oracle Student Financial Aid team, and in this spotlight, I will be covering the capabilities in Update 24B. With 24B, we are delivering 7 features and a number of baseline configuration updates. You can see that this release was mostly focused on completing the remaining updates needed to support FAFSA simplification and processing financial aid for the 24-25 award year in Oracle Student Financial Aid. In addition to that, we are also delivering a highly voted idea that we previewed during our last Cloud Customer Connect event that will allow you to package your students while still processing their ISRs. I'm going to review each of these areas starting with aid eligibility. For aid eligibility, we are delivering support for recent Department of Education updates to the ISR record layout and several baseline configuration updates. On April 3rd, the Department of Education published updates to the ISR record layouts Volume 4 and 5, and in order to support these changes, there were a number of product updates that were needed with 24B. I'm going to cover the updates that had an impact to the product, as well as the impact it will have on existing students and ISRs if you've already loaded those into the system with 24A. For the first one, there were a number of fields that the valid content was updated to include NA as a possible value. In 24B, we made an update to accept NA for these fields and send FAH and TSM NSLDS request files that are triggered when an ISR is matched to a student. Since Ed had already sent the ISRs with NA prior to making the update to the ISR tech ref, if you've already loaded the ISRs into the system, the NSLDS request files were not triggered. However, when we include this update, we will also trigger the request for existing impacted students. An additional change that was made by Ed was to extend the ISR correction field length for high school school name from 50 to 60 characters. After 24B and once the department allows schools to send corrections, we will include up to 60 characters. If a correction for this field is sent prior to 24B, it will be capped at 50 characters, but there were no other downstream impacts. For rejects, the comment code mapping were updated for 5 reject codes, which did require system logic to be updated as well as baseline configuration updates. For these reject codes, if an ISR is loaded in prior to the update, it will display the prior mapping with incorrect comment code text on the ISR's code UI within our admin UI. And lastly, 2 reject code reasons were updated which require ISR processing updates. If you are using our baseline configuration, there will not be an impact to your students as our delivered configuration does not contain any rejects that are not mapped to comment codes, which is the only time that this text would display. Moving now on to the baseline configuration updates that were made within aid eligibility. The first one here was made to support the ISR record layout updates I just mentioned. We updated comment code mapping for reject codes D, 6, 9, 31, and 34, and clearing logic and notification messages for comment codes 57 and 301. Ed also published late updates on March 5th, which updated the IRS response code fields for each contributor to include blank values. Since we use these fields to determine if documents need to be requested, we updated our baseline configuration for standard and aggregate verification groups. Your school may have already made these changes as we posted the logic on Cloud Customer Connect on March 6th, but it will now also be included in our delivered baseline configuration. In addition to the Department of Education updates, we also enhanced our logic for Children of Fallen Heroes and ISAG eligibility. We have added logic that will trigger a document request for a student to verify that they are eligible for Children of Fallen Heroes or ISAG if they have answered yes to parent killed in line of duty on their FAFSA. Once the document is accepted, a complete ISR review task will be created for manual review to make the ISR correction. Next, I will cover the features related to packaging and awarding. The first one is around enhancing our need calculation when periods are less than 9 months. As mentioned in prior Cloud Customer Connect events, the Department of Education will not be prorating the SAI, which does cause the student to have less need during periods that are less than 9 months. Through the Design Review Council, we were able to collaborate with customers on a solution that meets department requirements while still reducing need burden on students. If you are a school that has configured for there to be a separate summer need, the summer logic has been enhanced to use the entire loan period, and the standard terms will continue to use the loan period established when your standard terms were awarded. So you can see in these examples and in the screenshot, after your standard terms have been awarded and summer is packaged, the system will determine the length of the loan period, which will include the standard terms if the student is receiving sub in them, and use the cost of attendance and other financial assistance from all applicable terms. Please make sure to watch the training available for this feature on release readiness, which covers a number of examples in greater detail. For this next feature, we are enhancing the UI in a number of places to align with the new 24-25 ICER fields. Our focus for the last release was giving you the ability to process ICERs and award your students. So in 24A, you may have noticed some of the terminology on the UI had not been updated yet. We are excited with 24B to complete the UI enhancements and improve usability for your financial aid administrators. Within packaging, there are now separate ICER data tables that are conditionally displayed for each award year being used in packaging, and they show the key data points from each applicable year. If you select the 24-25 ICER in the table, you now have the ability to access all ICER fields within packaging, similar to how you had that functionality for 23-24. When viewing eligibility per fund, we have added the key data fields used when determining their aid. For instance, for Pell, we've added fields such as Pell enrollment intensity, Pell min and max codes, Pell cost of attendance, to name a few. We've also updated the ICER fields presented when editing or adding 24-25 funds. For Common Line, within 24A, we updated the logic to send the correct ICER fields in Common Line files. And with 24B, we updated the UI labeling to match the 24-25 terminology. We also made a number of other minor updates throughout the system, such as when the UUID exceeds the allotted number of characters. So this release should help to alleviate any confusion on our admin UI with these new 24-25 ICER fields. And one of the most impactful features with 24B is supporting COD integration, which will give you the ability to originate and disperse Title IV funds for the 24-25 award year. Once the Department of Education allows COD processing for the 24-25 award year, and you have enabled the functionality in the product, we will begin transmitting files using the new COD Common Record XML Schema version 5.0b. This includes a number of updated fields, removal of old fields that are not applicable to 24-25, and additional fields being added, including enrollment intensity, name suffix, FPS data, ISAG, and Children of Fallen Heroes eligibility. With 24B, we are also supporting the added country codes and new COD edits. This release will give you the ability to accept entrance counseling files plus applications, MPNs, and credit status decision files used for determining and processing financial aid. And the final feature within packaging and awarding is automated selective packaging before verification, which will be especially helpful this award year in getting your students packaged while ICER processing is still being completed. The feature will expedite getting this information to your students, allowing them to understand what their potential financial aid packages will be. New Groovy configuration will allow you to define which ICERs should be selected to be used in packaging, and we've included baseline configuration for both the 23-24 and 24-25 award years. That configuration is based on best practices that we have learned when meeting with our Design Review Council And this is one of those features where you can easily uptake the feature using the delivered configuration, or you can add additional logic based on your institutional policy or to work around some of the Department of Education's known issues with the ISER this year. As an example, our baseline configuration will not select the ISER if the SAI is not present. Once an ISER is selected based on your configuration, the system will use the ISER to package Title IV funds, and if the ISER is pending, the funds will remain projected. Those funds will then be displayed to your students within self-service and included in the provisional aid offer letter. This feature will greatly enhance your students' experience, creating transparency and allowing them to make informed decisions about their education earlier on in the process. Moving now on to the updates that were made for our self-service. You now have the ability to provide your students with a college financing plan using the updated undergraduate and graduate professional templates for the 24-25 award year, allowing them to compare cost and the expected financial aid that they'll receive at your institution. As with prior years, configuration will allow you to drive the category a cost of attendance item should be displayed under and whether it applies to on or off-campus residents. Additionally, you will need to configure which category each fund should be tied to, driving how the fund information should be calculated and displayed within templates. Within the self-service UI, when enabling the 24-25 award year, you have the ability to set configurable content per template, including settings for loan and work options. Additionally, for the loan amounts and other options section, Student Financial Aid will deliver the default text as provided by the Department of Education's College Financing Plan templates. The College Financing Plan will generate again using the new templates, which includes displaying the updated award year, a button to download a PDF version, the EFC being replaced with the SAI information, and a number of additional minor text updates throughout. And the last feature that I will be covering is related to reports and letters. Due to the FAFSA simplification completely reformatting the ISER, new reporting views containing ISER information for 24-25 ISERs and forward have been created while maintaining current ISER views for 23-24 and prior. These views were released in 24A, and with 24B, we are releasing the subsequent changes to reporting data models and letter configuration. If you would like to make these updates prior to 24B release, please refer to a post on Cloud Customer Connect that includes all of the required information and steps to do so. In 24B, we are delivering reporting data models using the 24-25 ISER views. Within these data models, we have added the required security requirements to include CUI labeling for all FTI ISER fields. If you are creating your own data models, you can use the delivered ones as examples to ensure you are persisting the CUI labeling. Additionally, we are delivering updates to product reports, which will be included in the SFP reports folder in your OAS instance and will include 24-25 through current label after the report name. These reports will leverage the new data models, and if the report includes FTI data, they will include a new run parameter, allowing you to mask the FTI data, or if left unmasked, will include the CUI labeling prior to the value. We've also made updates to our product letters in order to ensure students are getting accurate information, including details from the 24-25 ISER as needed. We have created a new VL1 letter code to use for verification letters for 24-25 award year and future. And within the letter configuration, we have delivered baseline configuration that will leverage the new code and updated Groovy logic that will select the verification letter code based on the award year. For the letters themselves, we have made updates to the provisional aid offer letter as well as the aid offer letter to include ISER and COA information from all award years, including crossover scenarios. And the verification letter was updated to use the new letter code. With the June maintenance pack for 24B, we've delivered 4 additional features and a number of configurations and reporting updates. Within aid eligibility, we released support for the 24-25 ICER updates that the Department of Education released on April 11th. The changes to Volume 7 Comment Code Guides required several updates to ICER processing to ensure we're communicating the correct comment code descriptions and that we accounted for several comment codes that were added and removed. And as part of this update, we also released baseline configuration to align with these changes. In addition to the ED updates, we also released a change to our ICER discrepancy configuration to ensure that duplicate ICER verification tasks are not created. Within packaging and awarding, we also had to account for the April 11th, 24-25 ICER updates. We added additional logic to packaging to evaluate new comment codes that require resolution for Title IV fund eligibility. Additionally, we increased visibility for the FSEOG need calculated by the system. We now include student need results within the packaging eligibility and the edit fund outputs for FSEOG for non-term academic models. And finally, within reports and letters, we delivered a number of improvements. We are excited to deliver a customer logged idea that includes the ability to mask Social Security numbers when running product reports. This capability allows you to control how sensitive data, in this case the student's Social Security number, is displayed when rendering product reports, allowing for your scheduled reports to be generated with increased security measures in place for automated delivery. We also created new reporting views to display the latest configuration loaded within cost of attendance and fund CFP workbooks, and updated document reporting views to include the document owner. And lastly, a new product report was delivered that allows you to view all existing product delivered data models and the respective product reports using them. We advise that you use this report before creating any custom data models to see if an existing product data model or report already exists that fits your needs, or if a product data model can be used as a template for updates. For more information on Oracle Student Financial Aid, see the What's New documentation at oracle.com/readiness and these other resources. Thank you for listening to the 24B Spotlight.